Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Food Fight Club. My name is Charles. I will be your host for this video. I appreciate you stopping by and watching. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up, share it with somebody, leave a comment, or even subscribe. Radical idea there. Please give me a subscription. Um, so tonight's video, getting right down to it, is going to be about the detrimental effects of chronic restrictive dieting, or like we like to call it, yo-yo dieting, and some call it weight cycling. Um, I don't know if you've ever even pondered the fact that could this do long-term damage to my body, but yes, it can. There are studies out there that show that chronic yo-yo dieting throughout life can have a lot of different detrimental effects, and we're going to go through some of them here. Um, I did go through several different websites, several different articles, compiled a bunch of different little facts, and you might find interesting. So why don't we get started? All right, number one, I have, and again, they're not listed in any order of importance, so I just listed them. All right, slower metabolism. Number one, slower metabolism. So we are all pretty much familiar with this fact. When you stop eating food uh, in the quantity that your body needs, your body, who wants to keep you from dying, will slow your metabolism so you need less energy. This is why after a couple of weeks or a month or so, you stop losing those massive amounts of weight that you get those first couple of weeks or first month. Um, your body wants to conserve energy, so it does, lower its weight set point, its metabolism, and it wants to hold on to fat to protect you from stress, from to protect the fat stores. So sorry. Um, Number two is fatigue. That's simply because you're just not eating enough, and you're just going to eventually feel tired, fatigued, cranky, hangry, as they say. Um, so that's pretty rudimentary. Long term, though, on and off, yeah, you're going to feel fatigued. You're going to feel tired. Number three, hormone imbalances. This includes the sexual hormones, testosterone, progesterone, estrogen. Women who are weight cycling may have trouble getting pregnant. Menstruating may become less and less. So, um, yeah, hormone imbalance is a big thing. You can also get insulin resistant long term. You might go on a diet and you just can't lose weight. You're exercising, you can't lose weight, um, and your leptin and ghrelin can get all messed up. What we don't realize is hormones are made of cholesterol and fats. So, or you know, those are the building blocks. So if you're on one of these ultra low fat diets, it's going to mess your body's hormone balance up. You're not going to be able to manufacture the hormones that you need for regular, optimal bodily functions. Okay, the physiology gets messed up. All right. Number four is muscle loss. So muscle loss is a big thing. We all know we're at risk for muscle loss when we restrict our diet. Um, but a lot of us, when we hear muscle loss, we think of skeletal muscle. We think of that muscle. But just think about it. Your internal organs are made of muscle also. So not only will you be losing skeletal muscle, but you'll be losing organ muscle. So keep that in mind. It's not a picnic. So that's a very detrimental effect of long-term, restrictive dieting. Number five, nutrient deficiencies. If you're not getting enough food, your body can't get enough nutrients. When you compile that over a month, 2 months, 3 months, going on these crazy crash diets and stuff, you're just not going to get enough nutrients. Okay. Number six, weaker bones. Okay. Uh, Mineral density declines. Okay. It's very possible that mineral density in your bones will decline, because you may, like, weigh a little less. The bones don't need to be as dense. Your skeletal muscle starts to deteriorate a little bit, and calcium and other minerals are leached out of your bones. It's a real thing. Nutrient deficiencies um, are the weaker bones. Yeah, hair loss. Hair loss. No, no, mine is probably hereditary. They don't even know what hair loss is from. But I've seen anorexic patients with a lot of hair loss, and it's a very serious thing when you get to that point, and your body just can't support even hair growing anymore. It's horrible. So hair loss is a real uh, effect. Okay. Um, 8 is increased food noise, increased cravings, and increased risk of binge episodes. So we all know when you restrict, for every, what is it, for every action, there's an equal or greater reaction. So the reaction to restricting is binging. So you may lose your willpower and just say screw it, and just go to town in the kitchen, or go out to eat and to drive through or whatever, and you may just be binging, which is a direct effect of restricting. So if you're going to restrict, then you should really expect to binge. It's just a natural reaction. Like I said before, your body is trying to keep you alive. It's trying to keep you from dying. Okay? Your body doesn't know that there's food all over the place and you're just restricting yourself because you want to lose weight or look a different way. Your body is very primal. So when you restrict, it interprets that as, a famine, or, there's no food available. And when you decide there's food available, your body's just going to go, we need to eat, we need to get this back. So it's a real, the food noise and the cravings comes along with it until you finally binge. All right. Number 9 I have here is increased risk of diabetes by 23%. Okay, and I took this little snippet from a Forbes magazine article. Um, the article is from January 4th, 2024, so it's relatively recent. It states, simply put, participants that started out heavier but maintained their weight did not have an increased risk of cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes compared with folks who put on weight over time. Okay, so as you go up and down, up and down, up and down, you're gaining weight over time. So it's a real risk. Diabetes is no joke. Cardiovascular disease, no joke. And that's the next one. Number 10 is increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Um, so the next one, number 11, is increased negative psychological and behavioral consequences, as we all know. Um, then I wrote this down from that same article. It said a study of 2,700 United States adults in fall of 2020, again, so not that far back, found weight cycling to be related to report depressive symptoms in men and women, regardless of a person's starting weight. So they reported that they were depressed from yo-yo dieting, weight cycling. All right. Um, it could be very taxing on your body and your mind. We all know that. If you've been on any amount of restrictive dieting, it's very taxing on your body and your mind. Um, as we just went over, uh, it's very stressful, and when you have that stress hormone cortisol flowing through your veins because you're fatigued, you're not eating enough, you're mentally stressed out, you're physically stressed. It's very, very hard to lead a normal life. Um, I have a note here: stop weighing yourself. Okay. Um, when you start intuitive eating, the thing is you got to throw away your scale. Okay. I haven't weighed myself in over 8 years. Um, the scale is a blunt instrument. Okay. It's not going to tell you exactly what your body mass is because your weight fluctuates with your water day to day, even, a couple of days. Um, it's funny, like, we have this conception that if we eat these foods that we interpret as bad, if we have ice cream or cookies or cake or whatever, um, we think like the next day we're going to wake up 10 pounds heavier. It's just like been drilled in our head. Um, the body works more like off of averages. So, you could eat crazy for a month, but then stop and, regulate yourself and you may not gain weight, because you ate crazy for a month. It's all kind of like averaged out over time by your body. It's very smart. It's very intelligent. Um, and I have this other fact written here. Studies indicate that weight cycling is associated with a higher risk of mortality or, all-cause mortality, which is pretty scary. I wish I would have known this, when I was younger, but we live and learn. I wanted to come here and kind of try and scare you guys out of dieting like that anymore. You know, you got people who love you and you really need to reconsider before you go on the next diet and, go through all that physical and mental stress. I can't even think about it anymore, think about doing it anymore. It's crazy. When I know the extremes I put my body through, like, I don't even know how I did it. I really don't. It's just I was so brainwashed into the whole diet culture thing. You know, um, you just really need to give yourself a break, relax, lose all the rules. Get the intuitive eating book, and if you want to talk to me, I'm totally open to it. I have my email in the about section of the channel. Check that out. Shoot me a quick email. It doesn't have to be your life story. Maybe we can, you know, do a phone call, see if, maybe you want to be coached through the intuitive eating protocol. Um, it's all up to you guys. Okay, it's all up to you. But I'm trying to give you the good stuff and the bad stuff because there needs to be a balance. You need to have. Sometimes people aren't motivated by the good things. Sometimes it's more motivating to know the bad things. Like what's going to happen if you don't. So maybe this hits home for one or two of you. I hope. But please do me a favor. Like again, give me a like, uh, leave a comment. I look forward to seeing the comments, helping you guys out. So uh, that's it. I hope you guys got something out of this. You can do the same research I do. Just Google it. A ton of different ways and look at all the different articles that are out there. There's, like I said, there's medical studies, and convince yourself that you don't need to be on restrictive diets anymore. That's basically what you need to do. Stop listening to all the diet culture and watching all the pretty people. You got to accept yourself for who you are and love yourself. Love yourself first. All right? So I hope you guys have a good one. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.